Hello, you guys. Welcome back. I'm Ashley. And yes, in this YouTube video, we're getting ready to do a reaction video to a small business owner who has been in business for 7 months. I have been in business for a year and maybe 4 months. So I'm really curious to kind of see what she has to say being in business for 7 months and what she has seen as far as the mistakes as well as the pros and the cons of being a vendor at events. I have done a video on do's and don'ts. So I will make sure to link that in the description below. But I'm really curious to see what this small business owner has to say. Please like and subscribe this video. Also, if you want to see me react to other small business owners and their videos on different topics, please let me know. Please give me some hints below on either videos that you want me to react to kind of see my thoughts on it as a small business owner, or topics that you want me to kind of look into or react to. So let's go ahead and get into it. She's going to list the 7 most common pop-up shop mistakes / craft fair / vendor booth do's and don'ts. So her name is Adrianna Genell, so go check her out. But let me see if I can relate to her in her video. Okay, so her first mistake that she's highlighting in her video is poor display setup. Now, I definitely agree with her. This can be a huge mistake in being a vendor. So I'm going to tell you a little story as it relates to each one of her topics. So I get a lot of my props from Michaels. As you know, Michaels has always had, ever since I've been purchasing from them, a lot of sales, daily sales, all the way up to 50% off depending on the season or holiday. And so that is a great time to snap up some of those displays. And if you want me to do a whole YouTube video on kind of Michaels and displays that I have and the different ways that I use Michaels displays, please let me know, because just because you invest money in displays does not mean that you only have to use them for vendor events. You can use them for photography, props. You can use them in many different ways to get the use out of them. But check out Michaels if you're interested in some props, stands, shelving, all of these things that can be put on top of a table to kind of make your table look a little bit more unique and organized. I have gotten a lot of great compliments about my display, how unique it is, and basically saying that customers have said that they have noticed a lot of vendors that did not have good displays and that they need education on that, on, you know, being, because that's something that you're not taught being a small business owner. It's literally trial and error. And I got a lot of my tips from YouTube, a lot of ideas from Pinterest, but ultimately I think it's super important to kind of talk about this, because that is what gets people into your booth to even look at your stuff. You know, regardless of how wonderful your products look and are, how it's set up is key to getting them to even come into your tent area. Now, as a customer who has also purchased at vendor events, I will say from that standpoint, it is very overwhelming, and people shop based off of what they can see. And if the booth space is appealing, it will draw a lot of people in. If a lot of people are in your booth, a lot of people are like wondering, what does she have? What does he have? Why is there so many people in that booth? Let me go try to see. And I've had a lot of times where customers have basically said that they could not get into my booth space because I had so many people, especially, I mean, it's in a 10 by 10, it's not that much space anyway. So you have 5 or 6 people in your area looking at your products. It's not much room for anybody else. So they will have to loop back around and come back and visit me when there's nobody there or less people there. And they have definitely told me like, hey, like I really wanted to see your stuff, but you were consistently busy with so many people in your booth all the time throughout the event. And so, and I owe that all to my vendor display setup. Researching on Pinterest is wonderful. Getting inspiration from other small business owners, even if they don't have the same products as you, is super duper important. But making it all your own so that you're not copying or anything like that. You have to also stay unique and true to your brand too. It's also important, not just display wise, like props, but also about your tablecloth and having a tablecloth that aligns with your brand and having your signs visible so people know what your brand is. Making sure that things are eye level. I have definitely seen that if I put things on a shelf and it's at the bottom, people don't even look at that. So eye level and up, or at least like midway up. So like a table would suffice, but making sure it's still elevated on that table, because it kind of gives people a better opportunity to kind of see and scope out, no matter if they're just walking by your booth or even if you can get them to come in, they can also see. But I have a lot of people that just walk by, but they also see something that catches their eye because I have it so elevated that they may loop back around and come back and look at it closer. The next point is inadequate pricing. So pricing things either too high or too low. I have definitely in my first year of business switched up my pricing here and there because I wanted to make sure that my products were, one, comparable to other people's products that were in the similar category as mine, but also I was charging enough because inflation hits, and when it hits everything. And so ingredients, additives, fragrance oils, packaging, all of these things for my small business is impacted. And so prices needed to go up to accommodate that. But I also needed to make sure that my prices weren't so extreme to where people would rather shop somewhere else at an event than shop with me. So that's definitely something that you just have to look at, crunch the numbers, making sure that you are comfortable with the prices that you set, and see if it's selling. If it's not selling, I would definitely take a look at pricing to see if it is too high or too low. Sometimes people think that pricing your stuff too low is a benefit, and actually it can be looked at as a deficit too, because some people don't want products that are too cheap, because then they start thinking, well, what's wrong with that product? Why is it so cheap? Why is this person so desperate to sell at such a low price? I don't know about this. Why is this person always having sales all the time? What's wrong with the products? Why are people buying? All of these things are coming through people's minds. And so you really have to make sure that you charge what you need, but don't charge an astronomical amount. So for example, I would never charge, $10, $15 for a bar soap. I just wouldn't do it. It's just no need to either, because it's outrageous for me to do that, because even though I think my soaps are amazing, I don't think any soap is $15 or $10 worth, no matter how big it is. So just kind of making sure that it makes sense, because as a customer and as a small business owner, that's what I'm thinking about, because I also buy stuff too. So would I really pay, $10, $15 for a bar of soap? No. So I can't expect other people to do that. So just taking a look at that, looking at other people in your area too. So other soap makers, other jewelry makers, whatever it is that you do, look in your area and see what their prices are like. Check out their website, all of that stuff. Okay, so the next point is lack of engagement. This is super important. I learned early on that at vendor events, yes, it's important to have a chair with you so that you can sit down, take breaks, eat your lunch, all of these things. But for the most part, it's important to be up on your feet as much as possible. I've learned that when I sit down and have my head in my phone the entire time, people just walk by, they're not necessarily going to make the first move as far as talking to you first. Some people do, but most people don't. So they're looking for you to then greet them and make them feel welcoming. Ask them if they have any questions. Ask them. My go-to thing is, are you a soap person? Because if you are, then I don't really have to explain too much to you. You already kind of know about soap on the basic level. Now, and then also I can kind of test out, because some people know, hey, I like soap with ground turmeric. So we can kind of cut through all the mess, and I can just show you the soap that has the ground turmeric in it. But if you are not really a soap connoisseur, I call it, and you just kind of like smelling good, that's cool too. I can just kind of ask you some questions to kind of help guide you along the table, because I'm kind of like going back to the display. I like to organize my products so that everything is together, but it's not necessarily categorized by scent. And so if you like a certain scent, you may want that in a body butter and a sugar scrub, and it may be here, maybe there, because it's categorized by product, not by scent. And so I always like to ask my customers, hey, what type of scents do you like? But what type of scents do you not like? Let's smell this, let's smell that. And I've learned that offering for them to smell, offering them to test, kind of like they do in Bath and Body Works, where they have like try me products where people can try it out, smell it, test it to make sure they don't have any skin allergies to it, has been super helpful, so that I don't have to worry about negative reviews later on about, hey, I hated this product was horrible. We can kind of skip all of that because you smelt it, you tested it, you liked it, and people are less likely to leave a negative comment if they have already gone through all those steps before they even purchase. So I think it's super important to get out there, stand up, engage. You're more likely to also draw people in, because it's that eye level thing. If you're sitting down, people can't see you. People aren't thinking that you want to engage with them. So why would they want to even purchase from you? And as a customer as well, I'm the same way. If I see a vendor just sitting there, not really talking to me, I'm kind of like, don't really want to buy from them. Even if I really do like their product, it's all about how welcoming you are. If you can hold a conversation, talk to me about your product. Tell me, I've had so many customers ask me, hey, how did you get started in this? What's your story? And I love it, because not only do I have my story sitting on my table on a easel where people can read it, but I can also kind of give education behind my story, what my mission is, what my brand is, and people love it. So get to know your customers. You leave a long-lasting impression on them, and I have found that those have been great relationships in the future, because you may see them at another event, or at another event, and another event, if you're like myself and continuously do events all over Southern Virginia. These people go to events here and there, so you will see these people again. It's important to always make sure that you're making a great impression. Have I always done that? No. All of these things I have not always done well, and I have had to learn and grow just like everybody else. So do not beat yourself up if you have already found yourself doing a lot of these don'ts or making some of these mistakes. You're learning, you're growing, you will always learn and grow. And don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some grace, because we're all doing this together, and there is times where we may slip and fall at certain events, and we may pick ourselves back up and do better at the next one. So hang in there, you guys. So I must take a moment to say that this small business owner is on point. I don't know if I was as educated as her at 7 months. I'll have to go back and review my video that I did at probably around 7 months to see if I had learned a lot of these things, but she's definitely on point. Number 4, limited payment options. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you guys. It has been a game changer. Offering every payment option you can think of. Like, I am so grateful that I did this. I have watched so many small business owners say exactly what I'm saying to you right now. And I was just kind of like, yeah, I will kind of get to it. I'll get to it. And I really realized how much I was missing out on. I have a Shopify reader, and it links straight to my website. I don't do Square, I do Shopify, and it works better with my system. It's compatible with my website and all these things. And literally, I get more credit card, debit card, Apple payments than I do cash sometimes. It's just super easy. And that is usually the way people pay. But also, I take cash, so debit and credit. Also do the tap, so you can tap with your phone. Like if you have Google Pay or if you have Apple Pay, just tap your phone to my Shopify card reader and it will automatically do that. I'll also take Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. And customers have literally no reason not to shop with me because I literally can take all forms of payment, whatever works best for you. Yes, with some of these forms of payment, yes, you will have to pay fees and things like that, but it's just a part of being a small business owner. You have to pay fees on everything. It's just the way it is. But a small business owner once said to me, actually last month, or this month actually, when I did my first event for 2024, she's like, the fees are so minuscule compared to the actual dollar amount the customer's paying. I mean, literally, it's 6% or maybe less than that, or maybe $1 or $2 here and there. And literally with like Shopify, yes, they do. I mean, in Shopify in general, they charge you because of the website and having the card reader. You have to pay for that. With Cash App and Venmo and PayPal, I think with one of those, when you cash out your money and switch it to your bank account, they will take a certain percentage of that. Or you could wait 1 to 3 days and it's free, no fees. So there's always, different ways. But I do believe one of those platforms, if not two, do have fees associated with it. But overall, the fees pay for itself. Having that consistent option of numerous payment platforms for customers, because that is something that as a customer I worry about when I shop. Is like, oh, well, does this customer take cash? Do they take credit card, or do they only do Cash App, or do they only, because some people, older people, they may not have Cash App, they may not know about these things, they may only do cash, and then some people may not feel comfortable doing credit card or debit cards for whatever personal reason. And so having these other platforms that give them some security that their money is going where it says it's going is super important. Also, I have seen some of my small business friends lose out on sales because they did not have the form of payment in which that customer wanted to pay. It's a very sad situation. A lot of times they do not come back because that is a lot for them to have to go to the bank, come back, get cash, this, that. They would just probably prefer not to. So it just kind of saves you a lot of trouble and allows you to secure that sale while you have it. The next point that she makes is ineffective marketing. This is super important as well. I am on all platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and I am always posting where I am at. Nobody on my social media, even my friends on my personal social media page, as well as my customers on my group Facebook page, TikTok, and Instagram, nobody can say that they did not know I had events, because I am constantly posting. I do newsletters every single month, and it's on my website as well. What events on the front page of my website? I have a newsletter section, and I update it every single month. I let my customers know what were the customer favorites for the month before. I also let them know what events I'm doing the current month, and I also let them know the times where I will be at with those events. I'll also show photos of different products that I've made that particular month or the month before. And so I'll also post the newsletter on my Facebook group page for my business, on my personal Facebook story page, or my Facebook stories. I also post it on Instagram, and I talk about it on TikTok, and I also do videos of events here on YouTube after the event, of course. But there's numerous ways where customers can know where I'm at, what events I'm doing. And I'll also have a whole list of events that I'll be doing for the entire year. So I update them as new events come about that I may find, but I usually secure what events I'm going to do before January of 2024. At least that's what I did this year. I already knew what events I was going to do, posted them, and then just paid for them as they became active. The next point that she makes is ignoring feedback from your customers. I have had 2 customer feedbacks that were super crucial to me in my business, and I'm going to tell you guys what they are and how I fixed those as well. So one of the customer feedbacks that I've had within this year and 4 months that I've been in business is that one of my customers had said that the product that she got, that the fragrance, the smell was not strong enough for her. And I wouldn't say that I necessarily fixed this, but I definitely took that into consideration to make sure that I was adding enough fragrance oil in my products so that the scent would last. But you also have to take into consideration, is it only one customer that's complaining that, or is it all your customers or most of your customers? Kind of weigh that out. Like, out of the 1 year and 4 months I've been in business, the only customer that's ever said anything. And so I definitely have, though, because of that, increased how much fragrance oil I am putting in there, just so that the scent does stay in that product longer. Another critique I think that I got is that I have been playing around with my lip scrubs, and sometimes they solidify rock hard, and there is no give to it. It is super rock hard, and it is not applicable sometimes. And so I have remade the formula for that to make it to where it is easier to apply. It's not so hard to apply, I guess. But they're always all a learning experience when it comes to making product as well. Hey, you guys, so I want to definitely encourage you guys to continue watching, as I will be posting some of my favorite vendor event setups that I have done over this year and 4 months, as well as ones that I have done early on that were kind of not up to par, but they were my first few vendor event setups, and kind of show you how I have progressed over this year and 4 months. Number 7 is inconsistent branding. This is super important. Being on brand, from your mission of your business to your coloring of your business, your color schemes, to okay, so like I was saying, from your tablecloths to how you set up your booth, what type of props you use. If you have a business that would look really like woodsy or would go really well with the color scheme, then that would be perfect. If you go with the all pink theme, if that is the color of your brand, stay on that theme. Mine is very minimalist, and so I use mainly beiges, black, grays, like very minimalist. Even though my products are colorful, the packaging, my table scheme, my labels are very minimalist. It's not a lot going on the labels. It's very black and white. But I do like my products to pop, because it's just the way it is. My products have to pop. It's soap. It's body butters. But I really feel like I have mastered staying on brand. So I would just do a lot of research on, like, what is my brand? What is my look? What am I going for as far as my look? And Pinterest could be a good use for that too, on doing different research, on figuring out what do you want your brand to look like. I hope this video was super helpful for you guys as far as my reaction to this vendor, small business owner who's been in business 7 months. Please go check out her video. Please check out my video and compare it to this video, I guess. I'll have everything in the description below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.